All right, so I've been getting this blown up for us on our Instagram tons, which is Rich, how do I go out there and deal with behavioral questions on product manager interviews? So in today's video today, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the following. I'm gonna talk to you about why behavioral questions are important, number one. Number two, I'm gonna talk to you about some of the most common behavioral questions. And I'm also gonna show you how to answer these behavioral questions in the STAR framework the way that they want to hear it in 2025. Very important. How to answer these questions the way that recruiters and hiring teams want to hear it. And if you are referencing the wrong STAR, you will not get this interview. My name is Rich. I'm the founder of Product Gym, and please go ahead and subscribe if you have not done so already, because it helps us with our algorithm, and we will be notifying you of a lot more hot content. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about why are behavioral questions so important right now. 2025, a lot of people say it's a brutal market. It's actually a fantastic market. And as much as you hate me for saying that, because we're helping people land all these jobs and offers, the thing that you also have to realize is we're just in a time right now where things are constantly changing. And one of the biggest complaints, we don't train people that enroll in the Product Gym program how to land product manager jobs when they're on the interview. We train them on why are hiring managers saying no to them? What are the fundamental reasons why they are saying no to them? One of the big fundamental reasons that really sting in a head of director's product crawl is product managers with bad attitude that's just like, oh, the market is just like you're working on something and it's like we're going a different direction. And you have a product manager that's just like, well, I've been working on this thing all weekend. Welcome to my world. Or like they show very visible negative attitude when there's changes. So when they're thinking about hiring you, they got to think about this. If I come to you right now, you could be extremely qualified for the job. You either are or you aren't. You can be extremely qualified for the job. But if I get the whiff that I'm going to tell you our business plan is changing again, and I'm going to get this sense that I'm going to get pushback from you, is like, oh, again? And there are a lot of people that work in product management that are just like, but I work da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, they're going to say, no, I don't want to deal with it. I'd rather work with somebody that's just like, I'm going to think, okay, I'm going to go to them next Tuesday, and I'm going to say, okay, this situation changed. That's life. So what are we doing now? Okay. And what do you need from me? And how can I help? And are you okay? Is there anything else I could do for you? That's what they want. That's the vibe that they want. You want them to think and you want them to feel on that interview, okay, that when shit hits the fan and they got to come and send you 8 Slack messages a week, like, we're going a different direction. We're going a different direction, and we're going a different direction, that you are going to step up and be the team player that's just going to be like, oh, totally cool. Okay, what do we do next? Okay, can I help you out with that? All right, totally. Let's scrap that. Oh, yeah, I could totally see why we're going that direction. 100%, I'm all with it. I guess it's not up to us, but hey, it's a job, right? They want to feel like they're going to be working with somebody that has a really good attitude and that's what they mean by culture fit. Culture fit either means that like people think like, oh yeah, so I'm not cool enough to work here. It's like, well, I gotta think in the most high stress situation, do I freaking want to be around you or even look at your face when I'm not feeling good? And a lot of people are showing up to the interview so stressed out, so desperate, and they're just like, I'm already feeling like that right now without paying you the $150 to $175, so I might as well just go ahead and pocket that change and give myself a little bonus before tax season. I mean, if I'm going to be working all day, all night, all weekend anyways, as I already am, I mean, why should I go out there and pay you? Because on top of having a boss that's constantly flipping the roadmap on me, and then I got to deal with that part of my mental health, I got to go ahead and make sure that you stay engaged in the job. I mean, shit. I might as well just go out there and just give myself that bonus right now. That's the real conversation that they're having with and not having with you. So typical behavioral questions are all referencing difficult times. Tell me about a time when you dealt with a challenge. Tell me about a time when you had to juggle multiple priorities. Tell me a time when you had to deal with a difficult stakeholder. Tell me a time when, and it's always going to be 2 things. something that has to deal with a thing, something that has to deal with a person. You have been messaging, your UX designer has been messaging your product marketing manager all week and has not been able to get ahead of this person. How would you go ahead? Have you had a situation like that, and how were you able to turn it around? So you always want to talk about like how, right? Or tell me about a weakness. Tell me about a challenge. Tell me a time when you learned something. It's dealing with a situation. So, when you're dealing with the situation, here's the trick. You want to talk about it being in the very beginning of your career. If you're dealing with the person, you want to talk about something that's more recent. So, let's go ahead and talk shop and print cash. Okay, tell me about a time when you didn't know something. Tell me about a time when you had to learn a skill you didn't know. Tell me about a time when you had to overcome a very difficult challenge. Tell me about a time when you had to juggle multiple priority one or urgent priorities. Tell me about that time. What you always want to say is the first 30 days, so you want to reference the situation, right? The first 30 days I started the job, the first 30 days of COVID, the first 30 days of me transferring to a new team, the first 30 days when I left San Francisco and came to the New York office, because the first 30 days is the grace period for you to F the F up. That is the perfect time for you to go ahead and get away with anything. Because if you said, oh yeah, just last week I didn't know that, hang on. Why did you still not know that at this point in the game? Like, says so that you've been a product manager for 4 years. Oh, well, prior to that, I mean, I didn't really have to work in an agile environment. You don't want to do that because all of a sudden they start digging into that. And you don't want them to dig into that. You want to say the first 30 days. You want to be very clear about what that situation was. And then you want to be very clear about how you took action on that. What you did to take action, you want to talk about how you did it fast. You want to talk about like if where people get killed. It says, well, there was a time when our email marketing specialist quit or left or got laid off. And what I realized was I had to go ahead and I had to basically go ahead and become the new email marketing specialist. And I enrolled in an email marketing course. How long was that? Like 12 weeks, but I got it done in like 5. And then they're going to be thinking, well, every single time you need to learn something, you're going to take a certification course. So speed is very important. That's where the A comes in. A is all about speed. Okay? Speed. Okay? I went on ChatGPT. I went on DeepSeek. I went on TikTok. I went on YouTube. I learned hacked it. Yeah, it took me 2 hours to go out there and figure this thing out. They love that shit. And then you want to talk about the results. Did it make more money, save more money, save more time? That's it. That's a thing. That is when the behavioral question has to do with this obstacle, and it has to deal with a challenge that has to do with a thing or a situation. When you're talking about people, you want to reference something more recently. Okay, describe a time when you had to resolve a conflict between 2 developers. Oh my gosh, I had to do that yesterday. You want to, anytime you want to talk about dealing with difficult people, because now they want to go out there and dig into like, hey, like how often do you deal with that? Or like how often does something like that come up? Did you have to deal with that recently? You always want to talk about it being recent. It's like, your data analyst has a backlog and you've been waiting for them to get you this dashboard. Like, did you have something like that happen to them? And just know this, any type of question that they ask you is really going to be an indicator of something that they're going through right now. So you want to be cognizant of that as well. 100%. Most recently, as of like 2 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon, I dealt with this. Okay, what was the very specific task? This is actually where you want to be very, very clear about like, the task is this, right? Let's talk about the T. They had a different way of doing something, or they had a difference in this. They had anything that distance from yourself as being part of the problem. Like, so these 2 guys had a different viewpoint in. You never want to insert yourself into the mix. That's very important. A is again ChatGPT, YouTube, TikTok. Okay. A, and this is actually R for both questions. R, very important. What was the result of that? Like, when you watch a movie, you want to know, did they get together at the end? Did somebody die? There has to be some kind of closure, right? Anybody that's ever watched Sopranos is like, people are still talking about it. Like, did the Tony Soprano character, like, what happened when, like, the thing just went blank? Like, why did you guys leave it like that? People want closure. Like, nobody's asking, like, what happened, like, what should have happened with Game of Thrones. Like, it didn't just freaking, like, just go dark, right? It was a bad ending. That was all there was to it. So the result is, why should we care? And the result has to be, did it make more money? Did it save more money? Or did it save more time? 99% of the times, people don't even have a result. So it's just like, you were telling us this story for how long, and what the was the point of that? Oh yeah, about that. If you don't have the STA and the R, you might as well just not even use the STAR framework, because the STA framework doesn't do anything. We want to know challenge encountered, challenge accepted, challenge conquered, as a result, victory. And how do we define victory? So, because I want to know, you're answering me these questions because it's giving me an indicator of whether or not you're going to be able to manage the difficult obstacles and challenges and people that exist within my organization. And the other person that's going to go ahead and answer better because they came out of our program is going to take your lunch. I hate to say it that bluntly, but like, this is the feedback that you get as a recruiter. This is why our program is just the best in the entire competition. It's like, they give the feedback to all these recruiters, such as myself, and they're just like, okay, let me tell you why we're not moving forward with this person. We're not moving forward with this person because, like, yeah, like, there was just no ending to what this person had said. So with that, schedule a call with us. We'll help you get this job. The Q1 challenge is still very much alive. And yeah, we very much look forward to speaking with you. Talk to you soon.